Hi, everyone. Welcome to Grab Your Keys. We are so excited today to have Laura Hopkins on. She is the SVP of Membership, Empower, and Meetings of the Mortgage Bankers Association. And this is a newer role. You've taken on a little bit more with Empower. Definitely have moved up the mortgage rankings over the time that I've gotten to know you. So welcome, Laura. I'm super
Hi.
excited to talk to you today.
I'm so excited to be here with you. I love talking to you anyway.
Yes, we can talk for hours, and
Yeah,
we should. If it was only on a beach with a cocktail, even better.
one day we'll do that.
Sooner or later, we're going to have that girls' trip,
Yes.
100%. Tell me a little bit, how did you get into being part of the mortgage world?
Oh gosh, it's probably like a lot of other people's stories. Definitely was not intentional. I had just gotten divorced and hadn't worked for 8 years. I was raising my children. I have had 2 little boys at that time, and I was looking for a career, and I ended up with a group of girlfriends I was very close with, and everyone I saw, I would tell them, "I'm looking for a job. This is what I used to do, blah, blah, blah." And this one girlfriend of mine said, "Oh, my brother-in-law is starting a new company. Maybe you should talk to him based on your personality." And that was Lenders One Mortgage Cooperative. And I interviewed with them and I did a presentation for some nonprofit fundraising that I was doing. And they're like, "Okay, we'll give you a shot in membership relations to help start this going." And it worked out phenomenally. They were so patient with me, taught me everything about the business, which was really cool because you don't get a lot of that
Right.
back door information and sitting in on all these meetings. So that's how I got into the business.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I met you while you were at Lenders One
Yes.
in 2010. And I really always say that Lenders One really helped put Centennial lending on the map. We really did learn a lot as we were growing. We were growing super fast. And I remember that girl group, you had a girl group that you
Yeah.
built at Lenders One too. And it's
Yeah.
so funny and weird how the cycle of
I
time
know.
goes around and how people come and go in your life. I truly believe that, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a
Yeah.
lifetime, and that cycle comes in and out. So,
So true.
fast forward like through the transition of up and down different companies, Lenders One, Mortgage Bankers Association, you're at the Mortgage Bankers Association. Now you're running Empower. Like,
Mhm.
how
I
great a
know, it's
group of
crazy.
women.
It's funny.
Why don't you talk a little bit about what Empower does? We had Marsha on
Oh,
a couple
cool.
segments ago. So if you're listening and you want to go listen to the one about with Marsha, you can.
Yeah.
She started Empower, and now you've really taken the reins of Empower
Mhm.
and carried her legacy forward with
Yeah,
Empower. Tell us a little bit
yeah.
about that.
It's exciting, but I'll first say the way I got to MBA was through a special relationship that I had with coworker Trisha,
Right.
who, we kept in touch, and then we always loved to work together. So that's how I got to MBA,
And
joining her,
yes,
and
and we've had Trisha on Grab Your Keys
yeah,
too. So if you want to see hers, you can listen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. It's like you don't even have to. So, Empower is all about women supporting and helping build each other up professionally and personally. And we do that through things like webinars. Other avenues, you probably have seen some of our Empower moments where we do videos just like this one, talking to female leaders. We have the Empowering You Summit. We have the community, which you don't have to be an MBA member. So you can go to MBA.org and just look up Empower and join the community of over 10,000 women. We talk about issues that are, you know, industry related, female related. I was just on a panel the other day where we were talking about different initiatives and issues, and we're almost like they're not women's issues, there's human issues going on. in the workplace and personally. So men are welcome too, but we do hit on some of those things that are female related. So
I
some of
always
the
think that
ways.
even in work related items
Yeah.
in the mortgage business with so many, well, we'll use loan officers as an example. When you're in an office and somebody says, oh, that loan has to wait 2 days till we get a clear to close or till we get this paper. Sometimes in the back of your mind, you're always like, if I was a guy, would that be the case?
Mhm.
Even though we know that might not be the case, sometimes
Yeah,
it's that little voice that's saying that. And I think that as women, we bear that all the time.
we do.
We know we don't have anything to prove, but we always feel we have something to
We
prove.
always feel we have. I was just reading this AI study, and women sometimes, and there's a quite a few studies, but we feel like we're cheating if we're using AI, and we're great. The older women like me are a great demographic for picking up things like AI because we're so used to dealing with change and pivoting. So there's a lot of different things of being a woman does change the way you look at things and react to things. Um, but also understanding how we all work together because we do have to have a diverse bench. So men, women, all different nationalities important. But the Empower community is a very strong, supportive community. I've seen people post things, they have a question or they need something and it's like done,
Yeah.
done.
And I love that because actually am speaking a lot on relationships are the true referrals. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
even feel that in a group of women, like if I can't do something, I have called you or Trisha or
Yeah,
other people to say
yeah,
like, how do I help? How do I do this? How can
right,
how can I give a referral to somebody? Who do we know in New York? Who do we know here?
right.
And we're better together than we are apart. And
That is just that's gonna be my theme going forward. We have a great foundation for Empower, like an amazing solid foundation. Now, how do we as a community come together and have our girls club kind of thing? Like you need something, you have a job opening, you want to get something through. We have to come together and support each other. And we still have that little stigma in there.
it's having the network to say,
Mhm.
who can I call? And then remembering you're not on an island on your own.
Right.
You can call. I know that making a lot of big executive decisions when you are a CEO or when you are in the C suites and you're making a decision and you can't talk to anybody at your company, who do
Yeah.
you call? Who
Mhm.
do you think is a confidential enough
Yes.
person who's going to understand the situation you're in and you can be a sounding board for that and can be a sounding board for you. And I
Right.
think that's what Empower really does
Definitely.
provide. And I also think it raises up people. I mean, we were just at the IMB. We had that mentoring, you know,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that was great.
panel, which was fantastic. I think the panels of the mentoring and illustrating what women have done in the mortgage industry
Mhm.
and raising everyone up is super important because if it wasn't for the MBA raising me up during all different situations, I don't know that I would be or have the relationships to have gone where I've gone in the mortgage industry. So I think that that's a great thing to really illustrate.
And raising and amplifying women who may not be CEOs, but they're amazing at whatever it is they do, or they've excelled in the community and really bringing that to light too, because everyone has something that they've contributed. And so I'd like to shine a light on that. I'll be doing a little teasers for something to come,
Great.
empower driven, and for the Empowering You Summit to shine a
Yeah,
light
that should
on
be
their
fantastic. I know
community.
that when I changed from being a CEO to not being a CEO, that was a pretty strong transition for me to say,
Yeah,
like, where do I really fit? And I didn't
Mhm.
really feel like I fit anywhere because my identity was so much in being the
Right.
CEO, founder, president of Centennial Lending Group. And then I was
Mhm.
like, nobody wants me. Like, I mean, I have a great job, but like nobody, had such a big presence at one point in time that I was like, what am I doing? And I think having that place to say, you can sit on the sidelines for years and understand who you are again,
Mhm. Very
love
important.
yourself again, and know that what you did was for the best for you, and then try to be there and be better for others. So
Yeah.
I think that that pivot is, something that we are seeing in the industry more and more. And having not that CEO position, but other positions is,
Right.
so important to illustrate you can still make a difference. You don't need to be the top of the food
Yeah.
chain.
Exactly.
What do
Sometimes
you,
even
yeah.
more so.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and what do you feel your 3 keys to success have been?
That's a tough question because I tried to get it down to 3. So what I think, first of all, is being open-minded. And any position that I've had and inheriting just most recently meetings and Empower and MBA being around for so long, having an open mind, there's so many people with ideas. We have new generations out there. Things, sometimes people get stuck in, we've always done things this way. And having an open mind to just try something, pilot something, which segues into another thing that I've always kind of touted is that I've looked at people for their individual strengths. So maybe this is the job description, but hey, this person does this, but they really love doing this. They love marketing, they love being on social media, and that's great. There are outlets for that. So, how do you hone in on those special skills? And I think we all are tuned into that now. In not only just the industry, but just in the professional workplace, looking for people's the way they communicate and the things that really drive them. It's not a one size fits all. Um, and then another one is really accountability. So if I say I'm going to do something, I do it and
Right.
I follow through with it and get from A to B, even if it's like, oh, why did I start this? But you gotta start what you've gotta finish what you started, so there are so many being approachable and just really being accessible, but I think those are the 3 I would.
Yes, I agree. So open-minded, honing into your special skills, accountable and approachable.
The
Um,
other one, can I
what's
add one more?
yes.
Which I think is
Or you
really
can do anything you want.
cool. Well, staying focused, to your goals. So every once in a while, I have to reset when I kind of go off on a tangent and say, okay, wait a second. How does this fit into what the goal is, whether it's revenue or a meeting experience? But to stay focused on your
Not the
goal.
bright and shiny, just
Yeah,
say focused on having clarity and execution.
exactly.
Speaking of goals, do you feel having goals is important?
I definitely do. When I was a younger person, I always kind of poo-pooed the goal thing, like that's just a thing. But as I have grown in professionally and personally, I do really feel like goals, and they don't have to be, I have to do 10 things a day, but you do have to have a goal or else you're just kind of going through the motions. You can't go from A to B and check it off if you really don't have some clear goals, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right. You said you had 2 children when you went to, Lenders One. They're
Mhm.
older now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, of course,
Mhm.
because they got big. And so you're a mom,
Mhm.
you're a wife, you're, have a family, you also have a big career. How did you find harmony in all those years in like balancing? There is no true balance of
Mhm.
work
Yeah,
and home. I don't even ask that question anymore.
I
But
know.
like, how do you
Yeah.
find that harmony and really be able to have it
Mhm.
all?
It definitely was very hard. I was single with 2 little kids, traveling a lot, but, I had trusted people that watched my children. I had a Manny. I think I was, like, so cool having Manny because I had boys and they did the things that were important to them, but then I did take the time to have a lot of fun with my kids, and I feel
Mm,
like that is really important, and I ended up getting remarried and I have a very supportive, husband who I also gained a daughter out of that. But I do think and I think we do a better job of it now of really compartmentalizing certain things. Like, it's really important to be present
right.
when you are home, and I'm sure you thought about that, and, look, I feel guilty about a lot of things when I think back to my kids when they were little and I had my phone and,
We've
I do think
evolved over time.
yeah,
We
I could have
know.
definitely done a better job, but, but I did also teach them how to be independent and, do some of these, household things on their own.
Right.
It's so I don't think that there's a balance, but I do think if you're aware of everybody's experiences, so not just work, and then not identifying yourself again with just the job, which I think I did that for a really long time, a
I
really long
agree.
time.
What
But you're always gonna have that little bit of guilt.
Yeah. Which we have to shed,
I know, that's tough.
So, what's one piece of advice that you use all the time?
I think it's really the how does this fit into ultimately where you wanna go? So, yeah, I had a coach that I'd ramble on and she would say, "Okay, how does this fit into XYZ?" And I use that personally too. So, how does this fit into spending more time with my family or, shutting off or having PTO? So, that kind of, keeps me resetting.
Right,
So
keeps you
I don't say
grounded
yes to
every time.
every single thing that may not
You get
fit
to
into.
Yeah, you get to see the mortgage business and talk to a lot of
Yes.
people nationally on a true national level. Like you have your office is in DC.
Yeah.
You're traveling all over the place. Everywhere I go, you are at practically. You're everywhere. So, on a national level, where do you see the mortgage business evolving in the future?
I do think definitely technology is the key, and not just using the words AI, but really technology, coupling that with these relationships that we know we have to have in this business, whether it's B2B or B2C, we have to maintain some sort of relationships, but we got to move with the times again, like this whole generational change or across the board, we have many generations. So I definitely do see the industry stepping into that in a very thoughtful, intentional way and coming together to help each other. Uh, but personally, I think we'll always have some
Mhm.
sort of personal touch. I mean, we
I'm
can't get
even
around
seeing
that.
with the younger generations buying houses, they
Oh,
really want the 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 touch, the
mhm.
relationship, the guidance.
Yes,
This is their first big purchase. They have they didn't purchase their car. Their parents
right.
purchased their car 9 times out of 10. So now they didn't even go from learning how to purchase a car and what an interest
So
rate is
right.
to now they're buying a house and an interest rate and if they have student loans or do they not have student
I've
loans.
gone through that now with my 2 kids. One already has a house, the other one is, they're looking, and the first person they call is me, and the first thing I say is, "I'm gonna give you a few names. you see who you really resonate with, because
Mhm.
you're going to need that person. I mean, I'm here, but you're going to need that person. You're going to have to feel connected
Yeah, you have to
with
feel connected, and you
that
have to
person.
feel there's a trust,
Hmm.
in that, in wherever that is, and I don't think that anybody can, that there's a replacement for that.
No,
Especially like how we know the mortgage industry really is way more complicated than
yeah.
anybody could
I was gonna
possibly
say, it
imagine.
doesn't have to be your first house. I mean, we're fortunate to know a little bit, and, my spouse didn't when we were purchasing a new house, and it was, you know, eye-opening, 'cause if you have 2 people and nobody's in the industry, you're
Yeah, you
looking
have to have a
on
trusted
the
advisor
yeah,
to give, and that's why I've, as I said earlier, relationships are the true referrals.
yep,
And it's
yep,
how you put AI and how you put everything underneath that that really generate it. Because as originators, we have to be faster, bigger, better, stronger
yeah,
in
yeah,
order to get all those places, because you have to do the basics while you're doing all the other
right,
stuff. So
right.
it is a little convoluted. But if you could mentor someone, or you said you did have a coach. So how important was having a mentor and a coach for you?
I think it's very important. Again, it's something that I always kind of push to the side. I don't need that, but and even now I kind of, oh my gosh, I have my coach this week. You probably feel the same way and you're like, oh, and then you get on the phone, you're like, whoa, they really help you. If you have the right one, really help you talk through things, and mentors and trusted
Yeah.
colleagues or peers like we were talking about before. I think it's so important, and if you don't have one and you need one, MBA is a great place to start. You're a great place, like, reach out to people that you've heard on podcasts or that you know, and everybody out there is willing to help.
Yeah. What is, in looking back over the last decade or plus, do you feel was like a challenge that helped shape who you are today?
Mm. Probably when I left a career that I was very comfortable in and just didn't align with me anymore, going out and figuring out what really makes me tick.
Right.
And I don't think I made the right decision the first time, but it was so good because it was really challenging and helped me grow in another area of my career. But it made me really sit down and think about what really drives me, what motivates me, what do I really like to do, and then how am I going to get back to that
Right.
kind of
Having
thing.
a passion,
Yeah,
that, like, really energizes you, because if you
yeah,
don't have the energy, it's hard to work when you don't have that energy and that life and that
yeah, and
mindset.
you're not really truly interested in what you're working on.
Yeah. Do you have a daily discipline that you do every day? Like, is there a routine? Or do you just wake up and you
Yeah,
encounter
no, I have to have a routine because, I'm already late to my next next call, but I look through, obviously, the night before. I look through my calendar, I kinda see who am I meeting with, what are we talking about, because I have to be prepared, whether it's somebody that works on my team, what are the important things we talk about. So one of the biggest things I do in the morning is go through and look at everything that I have that day and what I need to get through, not or to optimize those
Absolutely.
obligations. So I definitely do that every single day. And, sometimes the plan works out and sometimes
It doesn't.
somebody has other ideas for what should be your priority, so you shift, but, as long as you're mentally prepared, and I do try to exercise in the morning before I start my day.
Yeah. So I want to be respectful of your time because we did have some technology difficulties early on.
No,
Three
I'm
keys
fine.
to your success is open-minded, accountability, approachable, and then we threw in that you need to stay focused on those goals to make sure that they align with you. So Laura, thank you so much for being on
Oh
Grab Your
my
Keys.
gosh, thank you.
I've loved the relationship that we have, and I always see you as somebody who I can always call on. So I've
I feel the
totally
same
appreciated that.
way. I
Yeah.
feel the same way. So we'll see each other more this year.
Yes, and I will see you next week. So I get to give you a great big hug. And if you're
Yeah.
not going to the National Advocacy Conference, you should look at it. It's one of the best times to really advocate for the mortgage industry. And we will be there. So if you're there, make sure you say hi to us, and we will see
Yes.
you next time on Grab Your Keys.